Michelangelo and the painting of the Sistine Chapel.
In the heart of Rome, during the height of the Renaissance, there lived a man whose name would forever be etched into the walls of art and history, Michelangelo Buonarroti. He was a sculptor by passion, a perfectionist by nature, and a reluctant painter by circumstance. Yet, destiny had a different brushstroke planned for him. It all began in 1508, when Pope Julius II, known as the Warrior Pope, summoned Michelangelo to the Vatican. The Pope wanted the ceiling of his private chapel, the Sistine Chapel, painted with scenes from the Bible.
Michelangelo hesitated.
He saw himself as a sculptor, not a painter. He had just finished his masterpiece, the marble statue of David, and longed to continue shaping stone rather than mixing colors.
But the Pope was not a man who took no for an answer. "You will paint it," he declared.
And so, with a heavy heart but an unbreakable spirit, Michelangelo accepted the challenge. The task was monumental, a curved ceiling 68 feet high and 133 feet long, to be covered with hundreds of figures. Michelangelo designed a grand vision, 9 scenes from the book of Genesis, from the creation of the world to the story of Noah. Around them, he would paint prophets, sibyls, and ancestors of Christ. He built his own scaffolding, refusing to use the designs of others. Day after day, he climbed up to the dizzying heights, lying on his back for hours, paint dripping onto his face. His arms ached, his neck stiffened, and his eyes burned from the strain. At times, he quarreled with the Pope, who impatiently demanded to see progress. But Michelangelo, ever proud and stubborn, would reply, "When I am finished, Your Holiness will see it." Years passed. The frescoes slowly came alive. First came the creation of Adam, where God reaches out to touch Adam's hand, an image so powerful it seemed to breathe life into the ceiling itself. Each figure, each cloud, each swirl of color told a story of divine beauty and human struggle. At night, alone in the chapel, Michelangelo would gaze upward at his work. The ceiling was no longer a burden, it had become a symphony of art, faith, and genius. Despite the exhaustion and pain, he poured his soul into every stroke. Finally, in 1512, after 4 long years, the Sistine Chapel ceiling was complete. When the curtains were drawn back and the people entered, silence filled the room. Then gasps of awe echoed under the painted sky. The colors shone, the figures seemed to move, and heaven itself appeared to open above them. Michelangelo had done what few could imagine, he had transformed the ceiling into a vision of creation. Though he once called himself a sculptor, the world now knew him as one of the greatest painters who ever lived. Years later, when he was old and weary, Michelangelo would return to the chapel to paint the Last Judgment on the altar wall. It was darker, more solemn, a reflection of the weight of life and faith. But the ceiling remained his crowning glory, a masterpiece born of struggle, faith, and the relentless pursuit of perfection. And so, the story of Michelangelo and the painting of the Sistine Chapel reminds us that even when destiny leads us away from our comfort, greatness often lies in the challenges we never intended to take.